We are going live.
We're
live.
Okay.
Sweet.
Before we start,
let's make sure everything sounds good.
Hello, everybody. Okay.
Hello.
Yep, we're live.
All right.
I have to 1 sec before we
use the bathroom one more time before we go. That water's scared.
Before we start, ladies and gentlemen, Max is going to use the bathroom. All right, 1 sec. I'm doing something for all of you. All right, that's cool. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our first NerdKave live podcast here on the YouTube. Before we start, I'm just gonna do this quick. Just have to go into this. This is our first live, so bear with us. We're making sure everything's working.
All right. Is everything working?
Everything looks like it's working.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right. I will share this on Twitter then.
Awesome.
First, I'm going to like it.
Yeah.
And
sounds.
Go watch on here. So hopefully that'll interact with some people.
I'm just making sure. I have to go to my actual channel, make sure this is working. Subscribers live.
Oh yeah, that's not.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's pretty good. All right, I like that.
Sweet.
All right. Well, everybody, welcome to our first NerdKave podcast live here on YouTube. This is what we'll be doing now. This new format and kind of having us both together instead of separated. Now that quarantine's over, and also just to have a better platform for you guys and to see us, so we could discuss things and we could have live chats if you have questions, all that stuff. So I'm gonna like this too.
Yeah, there we go.
I like this too. Hold on.
I'm gonna share this on Twitter. Hopefully we can get some people over here.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag
Twitter.
Hashtag Agents of Shield. Hashtag keep.
I'm just gonna share this on my Facebook.
That is a good idea. Kenobi. Hashtag keep. Marvel TV canon.
And post.
Let's see here.
Discard post. And okay.
All right. Let's see.
I like that. I'll give myself an iPad on that one. Anyway, so today we're going to be discussing. Well, there's a lot to discuss, but
we have a lot to
discuss. I don't know why I got a notification for that, but yes. So I guess our first topic today is going to be the whole Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial.
Yes.
So, well, the outcome. We got the outcome a couple days ago, and Johnny Depp won. So what I heard is in the state of, what state was this in?
Was it Virginia?
Virginia. So he's not going to get So he's not going to get all 15 million or whatever. He's going to get like 8 million and something. And then Amber Heard also won her rebuttal of like 2 million. So she'll get some money too. Yeah. But at the end of the day, Johnny Depp wins the trial for his defamation case, and so everything that she was sued for, pretty much he got what he wanted.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's the most important thing for sure, because after watching it for 6 weeks and just wondering what would happen, I'm glad there was finally something that he could rejoice in knowing it went well.
I know, yeah,
because there were so many questions constantly, and like I was watching every day, like Popcorn to Planet,
Yep.
on YouTube. They were covering it really well,
Yep.
and I was just waiting for that verdict. And like, I'm so glad it was, something good.
It's weird that it actually happened. And
We
like,
got Billy the Kid up in here.
Billy
What's
the
up?
Kid.
What is
Hey.
up? Thank you for joining us. Thank you for hopping into the live stream. He is my Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. dude.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
is he?
We've been going hard on. Well, I can't say I've been going as hard as I can today with trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
But he's been like going hard on Twitter to keep Marvel TV canon. And yeah, I guess since he's here, we can jump into that a little bit. We can hop between.
Yeah.
Topics.
So let's we can hop between topics. So yes. So we can talk about the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was our second topic. So we can why don't you take it from here?
We can. Yeah. So I mean, today has been Keep Marvel TV Canon Day, or one of them. And it's really like a petition or a hashtag promotion thing on Twitter, mainly to bring back characters from the shows. So we've seen that a little bit in like Hawkeye and Spider-Man, and now it's mainly like we want the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. characters to come back. So like Ghost Rider, Daisy, Phil Coulson, like everybody in there. So that's what we're pushing for.
Okay.
And do you, as like, because you're not really into like the Marvel TV thing, right?
So for me, like I watched WandaVision. I didn't finish WandaVision though, and I didn't. It like for me, since I'm invested in like Star Wars stuff, and then I'm almost done finishing the Halo show.
Oh, nice.
So like I've been very much on the more sci-fi side as of right now. So dipping into Marvel and stuff, I guess hasn't been a top priority, but I hear stuff about it all the time from you or from other people in that community. So
cool. I'm gonna have to lean forward to read. That's good. I'm glad to hear the tweets are going up, because I know you mentioned we're like trending, but the Shield or the community who was into it was kind of falling behind. But I think it was just a few minutes ago, like Ghost Rider's doing well. I think Keep Marvel TV Canon still going well up there. Yeah, so I am glad, and hopefully like we get something soon. Like I think Miles, like we've talked about this too, where it's like I have been wanting Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. characters to come in to like MCU, like current MCU projects.
Yep.
For such a long time.
Oh yeah, no. You mentioned it before, and before I've even started this about it. So it's like, I'm excited to see what they do. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And where like Marvel goes, like in terms of what they're kind of thinking, with stories and all that. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. It's we gotta lean in again.
Almost. Cast movie.
You're not insane. You're the level-headed one. That's what I'm gonna say, and I'm not joking. Like, we need people to push for this, and you're like at the front lines. So, like, I appreciate it as a fellow fan. What you're doing. It needs to happen. I mean, we've seen so many hints towards other things in the MCU, and like in Loki, like them showing the Phil Coulson's death again. Like I think they're getting little, not Easter eggs, but like hints, or getting people prepared to see those characters again, I think. And Clark Gregg, who plays Phil Coulson, he posted, I want to say it was close to a year ago, or maybe even over a year ago, secret project. And that's when they were filming Secret Invasion, which is one of the upcoming Marvel shows.
Okay.
So my hope is he was filming for that show. And when one of these characters comes back, like I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to it's going to be a good day. Yeah. It's going to be a good day.
I'm just very interested. Like I am interested to see what the future holds for them, and what projects, and like story wise, what directions they go. There was the Multiverse of Madness. You got to see that, right? Yeah. We discussed it before, but since we didn't actually get it in like podcast form, we can kind of just go back into that. And talk about this. So what did you love about it, and what was your opinions on it?
Clown mode, fellow clown. My opinion on Multiverse of Madness. I think personally I liked it a lot. I know, like, I went with my family, and they're not as into like more twisted stuff. Like, they're very kind of like classic Marvel is the thing they love. So it wasn't like a great experience seeing it, because afterwards they were all like, oh, it wasn't for me really, because they don't like the kind of, darker twist on things.
Mhm.
But I like dark stuff a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to see Marvel moving into that, and Disney in general, because like Kenobi episode 3.
Oh yeah.
That, like,
Yeah.
spoilers for anybody here if you haven't seen
if you
Kenobi.
haven't seen Kenobi, we'll go into that in a second. But it's the first 3 episodes we're going to review and kind of talk about our thoughts on it and stuff. And I really love it. I think there's some controversy in the fandom when it came to Reva's actress. And all that stuff, and them sending her, or people in the community were sending her like death threats and racist comments and stuff too. And when Kenobi first started, and the little girl that played Leia, a lot of people, or there were some people in the community that were saying some things about her, which I think she's doing an amazing job.
I think she's doing a really good job.
Yeah.
Let me make sure I don't miss any of Billy's comments here. Let's see.
I think he's like, oh, I know what I
about
Multiverse of Madness.
I mean, if you want to fill us in, or like you want us to discuss anything about Multiverse of Madness, or
for what Multiverse of Madness was like, it was very interesting.
Yeah. Like, what's your take on it? Because I know we discussed it a little bit afterwards.
So my sister got to see it. I got to see it. My sister came down from Canada and saw it with her boyfriend, and she was like, "All right, Miles, when you go see it, it's gonna be a lot of stuff. It's gonna be a lot of stuff to pay attention to."
It is a lot.
I'll have to take a second watch to like look, to like fully comprehend everything that I saw. But dark. A lot of death.
Yeah. I don't know if I talked to you about this.
Not fully.
And I don't think, like Billy, I don't think I talked to you about this, but my theory is that nothing was really like, how do I put this? Not that nothing was changed, but like, I think Wanda, I'll back it up a little bit. So my theory is that Wanda successfully like infiltrated other Wanda, and she is with her kids, which is why she felt okay potentially killing herself by like ripping down the Darkhold temple.
Oh yeah.
So that's my theory. Is she successfully got into that other universe, and they're going to like sideline that character for a little bit, and then they'll bring her back at some point in time, maybe for like the next multiverse based movie or something like that.
Yep.
But that's my theory. And I think, like, so something my sister said when we finished the movie is like, she wasn't a fan of how evil Wanda was. And I think, like, for the majority of people I've talked to about their understanding of the Darkhold, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did it best. And you haven't seen season 4 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.,
I have not, no.
So the Darkhold is discussed like in great detail, and that's kind of the center point of season 4, I would say, or one of the center points. And it's explained so much better, because it really goes into like how it corrupts you and what it shows you about like what you want to know. It kind of tells you what you want to and corrupts you at the same time. So it's like, I would say like a cycle of you feeding into it and it feeding back into you.
Okay.
Is the easiest way to explain it. And
I'll have to watch it.
Oh, you should. It's best show.
Okay.
It's my favorite thing Marvel's done, and I know that's like a really controversial opinion. Just because everybody's like, oh well, what about Endgame or No Way Home? But I just think like the team dynamic is so good, and it pulls from like the more classic, like earlier Marvel movies, which were more like science technology based, and then it goes into like the more mystical. So I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. explained the Darkhold a lot better. And it didn't come across as well in Multiverse of Madness. I think for the general audience to have an understanding of why it made Wanda do what she did.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, it could have used some more plot, I think, for the general audience. But in terms of like the background I had and the darker twists and stuff that I like I am excited for Marvel's, next chapter, moving into something that is more mystical and dark, which I assume we're going to see in House of Harkness. Okay. Agatha from WandaVision, she's getting her own show. So I assume that is something we will see in there.
Very interested.
There we go.
Yeah.
I feel like we might be the only two people who think that, but I hope we're not.
Yeah. Okay, so if we want to, do we want to transition into Kenobi, or do we want to?
We can, yeah. We can.
Actually, let's go back, since we jumped into to Marvel stuff. Let's go back to Amber Heard, since we didn't Amber Heard, Johnny Depp, since we didn't finish that.
Yeah.
So we ended off with him winning the defamation case and like everything else. But what was some of the funnier moments, I guess, or like what were some highlights you take from it?
If we're gonna talk about funnier moments,
let's see. Guess Johnny Depp as MCU's, yes.
Oh, who would he play? Who would he play? That's the question.
Oh my goodness!
Like he could play anybody. Like he could play any character, but what role would he be best for? Yeah, I mean, I was always invested in this whole like Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing, watching like That Umbrella Guy.
Oh yes.
who came up in the trial.
Yep.
And like watching Popcorn Planet's coverage of it and just seeing like different things on YouTube and online. And then I really like what got me so engaged in it was actually seeing a 4-minute, I think it was a 4-minute, 1-second video compilation, which has been sadly taken down, titled Johnny Depp Being Hilarious in Court Part 1.
Mm-hmm.
That was like I don't think I've laughed that hard in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And just like seeing clearly that he was like broken when he was talking about stuff that hurt him. And then also like allowing him like himself to have a little bit of fun with like Rottenborn and taunting him and all that too.
Mm-hmm.
It made me that much more invested, where I'm like, I have to, like, you could tell he was not faking. And when Amber went on the stand, the whole "my dog stepped on a bee" thing, like
I think that was the first like meme I saw. That was like the first meme of the trial. And then after that, I was just like, all right, let me take a look at what's going on.
Yeah.
And so I watched who was it? There's this news outlet on YouTube that I watched, and like watched the whole trial. I saw that. I saw that.
I think mine has to be when Rottenborn said, "We're gonna fast forward in time a little bit," and then Johnny's response was, "Yes, I can feel it."
I can feel it.
Did you have a favorite like quote?
There was a lot. I loved what was that dude that worked for TMZ?
Oh yeah.
Up on say it was like Amber's attorney was like, "This is your 15 minutes of fame," or whatever it was, and he's like, "I could say the same about you," and Amber Heard. I was just like,
yeah.
She was like a little argumentative. Like, I'm not being argumentative. It was true. It's like him being like, he put himself in the target of TMZ. So it was like, why would he want to gain attention from it? It was just and like there was just some like the whole like I felt like with Johnny's team, it felt like they were really like a friendship, or like he was connected with all those people,
and they were like they were a
team. They really were. But you look at Amber's team, they're all like not talking to her. Like I was watching like some TikToks about it, and it was like you see Amber's side where it's like they barely would like pay attention to Amber. You look at Johnny's side, it's like they're all together.
Did you see the thing? It was when she was passing a lot of like sticky notes to I think it was Elaine and Rottenborn behind her, and then one of the other lawyers was to her right, and she wrote something down, and then she looked at him to like get his reaction. She was kind of smirking, as she was during like the entire trial. And he just kind of looks down and looks up at her and doesn't smile. And then as soon as she turns her head, he shakes his. It's like he is done with her.
Yeah, no, there was he was like, why? It was like, I don't know why he can't look at me. I can look at him. Like, why can't he look at me? It was like,
he can't look at you because you did terrible things to him, and he promised that you'd never see his eyes again. So it's like
I'll make that promise.
Yeah, exactly.
Like through the whole thing, like, with Johnny and with Amber, it was like, yeah, what she did to him, like, was very like hurtful, and it hurt his like for an accusation like that to come out. But then like in the phone calls and stuff, it's like, and she was like, well, just try to do it. No one's going to believe you because you're a man.
Yeah. Like, that bothered me so much when she would like.
Yes, Camille Vasquez.
Yes, yeah. Oh, Camille killed it. Misheard. That's not my question. That's not my
question. She was a very like straight up, straightforward, like was very like.
She was not taking anything from Amber.
No, not at all. It was like the funniest thing.
It was so great. It was so great. I pledged. That's not my question. I don't use them synonymously.
And like that, and like her lying under oath, and like
Heard was wrecked. Oh yeah, she.
Hearsay.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to send it to you, Billy. One of my roommates got me an objection hearsay shirt, and it's so good. Like it's one of the ones that's on Popcorn to Planet's like merch website, and it was like all the proceeds went to charity, and it's such a cool design. I think I showed it to you.
You did.
Yeah. But I'll send you a picture because it's so good. I celebrated with a mega pint when Johnny won.
Aquaman. Like, oh my goodness. It was great. And like the thing was, it made good TV and it made good entertainment. And like yes, and Johnny, I think, is finally like, for like public wise and for like for people, like he won this case, and also just like he definitely just deserves to be happy and have a happy life.
I definitely agree.
And he should be able to move on from this, So with the whole trial, I would say it was a big trial, but you know what? Like I enjoyed every minute of it, and it was cool.
Yeah, I think what made me like appreciate the comedy of it at times was the fact that you could see how well it was going for Johnny.
You made a good point right there. Amount of supporters, for Heard.
Yeah,
like the last, like with Amber's statement afterwards, I read it. It was just like, it's not even about like it hurts women, right? This was a case of like, you did wrong, and the judge was a woman. The judge was a woman.
There were jurors who were women. That was revealed.
There was like her attorney was a woman. Like there was women in that courtroom. Like
you can't just freaking Elaine on Amber's.
Yeah, it was just, the whole trial. She tried to manipulate, and exactly. Like she tried to manipulate the whole thing and make her look good as best she can, and like try to put everything onto Johnny. Like even the cross analysis, it was just it was a mess. But anyway, that was that whole case I can talk about it forever. It's like that was something I was very invested in. So it was like, I think everybody has an opinion on it. I think everyone has.
And anybody who doesn't side with Johnny has the wrong opinion.
The wrong opinion, So
it was something that I think is going to be.
It'll be remembered.
Yeah,
for sure. It'll be remembered.
Remembered is a good word for that, because like it's just there were so many layers to it. There was the comedy, there was obviously like actually what happened and like all the stuff that Johnny went through. There was Amber's lies, which I'm so glad were exposed. There was like I don't know, there's just it was a great outcome. So I am glad that it ended the way it did, and I know Amber is trying to appeal, and she like can't.
Oh yeah, I did hear about that.
Yeah. I have to watch the video, but I saw on I want to say it was Popcorn Planet that like there were a bunch of appeal attempts, and like she doesn't have the money to do it, so nothing's gonna happen with that.
No.
Like, oh, we got more comments.
Yeah, you gotta use up. Testify, closed doors. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Like it's at the end of the day, decision made corrupt judge. Well, I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, the you're talking about the UK stuff, right? Yeah, that was a terrible.
Terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, there was so much wrong with that. And I'm so glad that this one like shed so much light on what actually happened, because they didn't ignore things that were brought to light on Johnny's side. Like I know in the UK there were like documents that showed I'm gonna forget who it is. It's the person who was like the head of the organization that Amber's sister was working for, and they brought forward like the stuff that what's her name? Is it Whitney?
Her sister.
Yeah. That Whitney said about Amber, where it was like what Amber was saying Johnny did, and they just like ignored it. I'm like, you can't do that.
No. And it was just and the witnesses that they were bringing up. Well, like Johnny's witnesses were, or like Johnny's people that were up on the stand. They were doing great, but you have Amber's like her sister, that crazy dude.
The one they were calling him Doofenshmirtz.
Yeah. No, so I follow the guy that created the show, Dan Pavmeyer. He's on TikTok, and he actually did a voiceover of that.
Really?
Yeah, he did.
You gotta send that to me.
I'll have to look at it. But yeah, he did the Doofenshmirtz voice over that guy's testimony.
The part when he was asked a question, he looked at the judge and he was like, "Do I have to answer that question?" I'm like, "Of course." He's like, that guy was something, man. That was something incredibly worrying about the state of. I don't know what was he like a.
He was a psychologist or something like that. You're good. We like reading it. So.
Oh no, yeah, like the interaction, like on messaging on Twitter and like your tweets and all that, like great minds think alike. So keep them coming.
You're lucky. I mean, you're lucky there's not thousands of people in here. Otherwise, you just get a big line of chat.
I feel like it would still stand out because a lot of people would do like the short little.
They'll be like,
we could single out the paragraphs, and if we have it on,
we could put it on slow chat too. So,
yeah.
So didn't.
Yeah. The whole like using Jack Sparrow as a baseline.
Jack Sparrow,
Johnny.
Willy Wonka. They brought up all them. They're like he's a pirate. He's not. It's do you think he's actually Jack Sparrow?
Do you think Johnny Depp in the courtroom's acting and he's normally like, I'm Captain Jack Sparrow? Like,
I don't know.
Yeah, Johnny doesn't like wake up into his whoever he has near him. He doesn't every morning go, "Good morning, Starshine. The Earth says hello."
What was it? Like
alpacas.
Yeah. Alpaca. Megapint.
There's so much gold from that.
There really is.
What's up? We got Hannah in here.
Hi, Hannah. That's my sister. Yeah. So, this is our first live, Hannah, by the way. This is what our format will be from now on. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. And so we're going to be doing these. weekly or every other week. So
weekly if we can,
weekly
but
if we can,
flexible.
because we have to meet up. So we but we're going to be doing Thursdays and or Saturdays, so look out for us. But we'll be doing these lives, so I'm very excited for I'm excited. So
I
it's
am too. Like having a format where we can interact with people too, because like I just recorded a kind of like a comeback video for my solo channel, the entertainment outlet, talking about how like the format got a little tiring for me of doing like audio and then a video. Like I like interacting with people.
I enjoy live,
so
like this stuff so much. I would rather go live and make like just a big live video, and instead of going back and editing and figuring it all out, unless like we say something bad, which we shouldn't. We watch our mouths, so
yeah, we could slip up on something like Amber.
Then we'll get
canceled.
TMZ
was alerted.
We'll get canceled for something.
Yeah.
Entertainment outlet is getting canceled now.
Yeah.
Or the NerdKave podcast is getting
just both.
But yeah, so moving on from, I think Amber Turd, yes,
Hannah. Back to Twitter business. Yeah. Thank you for coming, Billy.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate having you here for our first live stream. And once we finish this and like tonight, I will hop back on Twitter to support the cause. Oh, so thank you for showing up.
Yeah, and so we're moving on from this to Kenobi. So Hannah, I know you'll like this one. So did you? So we're going to talk about the first 3 episodes and kind of run down our thoughts and all of that for
hashtag Amber Turd.
Yes,
I love it. I love it.
So Kenobi, right? Yes. I love this series. I love everything about it, and there is a rumor that there is going to be a season 2.
I hope so,
because of how big it was. The most streamed Disney Plus show, or whatever, the most ever. It broke like a record or something like that.
They have to do a season 2 then. Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to see, because here's a cool thing.
There we
go. So we got 10 years from Kenobi to A New Hope. They're going to have to, they got 10 years is a long time. Yeah. 10 or 9 years is a long time so you can put a lot of stories into 10 years. Seems very short, but you can do a lot of storytelling in 10 years. And what they decide to do with the series, I'm just really excited for. So we can go into the first episode. The first episode, it opens up with like, oh man, I have to remember. It's been a minute since I watched the first episode. It's the introduction to it all, and seeing, let's see, Inquisitor. Let's see, tries to kill him. Star Wars Rebels. What do you got? Oh yeah, so with the whole Inquisitor thing. Mm-hmm. So I don't think he's dead. And there's a lot of people. I don't know if he's dead.
Are you talking about the main one that kind of had the with the Voldemort looking thing going
on? Yeah. Him being stabbed because he was in. Unless it's a different Inquisitor, he was in this show called Star Wars Rebels too, and so they're trying to figure out if he's alive or not, or if does it decanonize Rebels because he was killed in this? So
could it be like a clone situation?
It could be, or like maybe I don't think he's dead, but we'll have to see. We have 3 episodes left. So I think the introduction to the show with to Kenobi, like you go through the first episode, you see where Kenobi is. This is the one with that one Jedi that was hung.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it opens up, and the Inquisitors, they show up on Tatooine looking for that Jedi, or for a Jedi. They don't know if it's Kenobi. And for let's see, Reva. Yeah, I have to remember her name because I always forget her name. And for Reva, it's like she has this very like vendetta against Kenobi and finding Kenobi, and very just like focused on getting Kenobi. And with the Inquisitor, he's she's very impulsive, and like you wonder why she's so focused on it, and how does what my question is, how does she know that he's alive? So it's like there's a question there too.
Yeah, that's a
And
good point.
yeah.
I didn't really think about that.
Oh, and we have to talk about the opening scene, Order 66, and like the
That
whole.
was,
Oh,
that
that
felt like
shocked
to
me.
me.
Yeah,
Because like we saw stuff in Revenge of the
the
Sith,
Sith.
was
Yeah,
that one?
yeah.
And this to me, like the camera work with that opening, it felt like when you're on one of the Star Wars rides at Disneyland and you're kind of in that
Oh
simulation, like the
yes,
little bit of like
yes,
shaky camera work and
yes.
stuff. Like it felt so like you were there,
Yep.
and I love that so much. The same kind of thing they did with Vader in the third episode.
Yeah. And I was actually going to mention that the shaky cam they did, and they're
Yeah.
like following through at like the child's height, and like
Mhm.
the like the camera work in that first scene, like it got you, and it was physical
Yeah.
clone trooper armor because they didn't make clone trooper armor for the prequels.
Yeah, it was
It
the
was
CG
CGI,
stuff, right?
and
Yeah.
so it was cool to see actual like armor that I think it was from the 501st. There's a
Mm.
legion of cosplayers that make these replica outfits,
Oh,
and like they're like movie pretty much replica, and they do a really good job, and they they hire or uh, those replicas for the show, so because they do a great job at it, and so that's why you get like the actual clone trooper armor and stuff.
oh, that's really
So
cool.
yeah,
That's really
and
cool.
then
Like getting the fan integration in there.
and so also in that group of kids, I think that one girl in there was supposed to be Reva. From what
Mm.
fans are speculating, is that Reva's part was part of that group, and how she got separated from it, or what happened inside that temple,
Mm.
we don't know. So
That's a good theory.
mhm. uh, let's see. Yeah, she's trying to prove herself to Darth Vader. I
Mhm.
agree, and like she
If
wants.
she doesn't, she'll be killed.
Yeah, she
As it
wants
was very
that.
blatantly
Yeah,
stated.
she wants that like head of the table. She wants to be in charge. She
Yeah.
wants power, and yeah, and also the other Inquisitor, I forget his name. The one that like has like uh,
He's
him
very
and
like
her.
kind of monotone.
Yeah,
What's his? I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
he's actually played by the guy from Tokyo Drift,
Mm.
the Asian guy from Tokyo Drift. I forget his name. Oh no, but yeah, he's so like, oh man, they got him doing that. I was like, yeah, I know you.
I love when Star Wars brings people in that you know from other places. Like for
Mhm.
me, the first time I think I experienced that was when Bill Burr was on Mandalorian.
Yeah, I was like, oh, they got Bill
It
Burr.
just it was I hope that character comes back.
Oh, I think
Man,
he will.
so
I think they'll keep him
funny.
around.
It was so funny.
So yeah,
Not a
like,
stormtrooper.
no, not a stormtrooper. Yeah. So and then you go to Tatooine and you see Obi-Wan there, uh, just doing blue collar stuff.
Yeah.
But before that, you see the Inquisitors come in and they're looking for this Jedi, and this Jedi in this cantina, and he gives himself away by using the Force,
Mhm.
and then he runs off. But then you get that side of Reva of like, and then the Inquisitor confronts her and is like, "You're too impulsive," and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And so the Jedi escapes, and then you go to Kenobi. He's just doing like I don't know what he's doing. Uh, yeah, I do want to know more about Leia's story, definitely.
Yeah.
And so you see Kenobi working, and then he's just doing the same stuff, and then um, that Jedi finds him in the desert,
Mhm.
and then Obi-Wan says like, because he looks for Obi-Wan, he finds Obi-Wan,
Yeah.
and and, Obi-Wan just goes by Ben now, and
Mhm.
like and so the Jedi is like, what happened to you? He's like, you have to hide. You know, like you can't be. You should just let the past go and let it.
Yeah. I noticed a lot of people comparing him and or him from the Kenobi series in the first two episodes, or first episode and a half, I guess, till he helps Leia or whenever that happens, to Luke in Last Jedi.
Yes.
And I think John from The Real Rejects put it perfectly. Is like the criticism that people had with Luke was that it felt out of character with everything you really knew about his journey. I guess from where he would end up, and there wasn't like a big explanation about it until later in that movie,
Mhm.
or like that it felt a little like disjointed or not genuine to the character, I think is what a lot of the complaint was. But with Kenobi, it's like that is where he would end up. Like
Yes.
without a doubt, that is where the character would go.
Mhm.
And I think that's why it works so well, and like how this character can progress in this show,
Mhm.
because like he failed the one thing that he like, you know,
He
it
was
was his thing. It
inspired.
was like
Yeah.
train him,
Yes.
and then it was like the complete opposite of
Opposite.
the outcome
Yeah.
that he wanted.
And like the PTSD that you see with
That was so well done.
oh, it was so well done. And like so, and then we transition to Alderaan, where we
Mhm.
see Leia, and like the actress that plays Leia is so good.
Yeah.
She does an amazing job.
Mhm.
And like just like her sassy attitude reminds me so much of Padme, like and also uh of Leia, like when she's older, and like and it make and so you get to see like what Alderaan was before it blew up. You just see this that's it's like a big city, and like it's really high class, and you got
Yeah.
the Organas there, and um but Leia she feels like she doesn't belong there.
Yeah.
And uh yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Obi-Wan mentioned that Leia reminded her so much of her mother, and I was
Mhm.
like, she really does. Like she really like her attitude, and like her diplomatic, like we should take the help or whatever when she was
Yeah.
there going to the shuttle.
Mhm.
And yes, I totally agree. Like does remind me of Padme a lot, and it reminds me of like older Leia and
Yeah.
her attitude and stuff. And like so and then like they're at that party, and then you got that one kid there that's being a why are you so nice to droids, they're lower than us. And I
Yeah.
was like, nah, I shouldn't be so nice to
Yeah.
you. And I was just like, oh, you should
Yeah, that
do
was
it.
so
I
good when
loved it.
she's like, I know you just act this way because it's like what you want approval from your father or
Yes,
whatever, but
yeah.
you're never gonna be. That was so good. I laughed so hard because I was like, that is exactly what this character like you were saying, the sass and all that. Like it just fits so well.
I did.
I'm
And
gonna try and send this to a few other people. Let's see.
like I was and then she likes to run off and like just explore and like
Mhm.
go out and do her thing. And uh but then so I didn't know if you know this, but so like Leia's going through, and uh she runs off from the party and stuff. And but
Mhm.
before she talks to her dad, and it's like well, I forget about the senator thing. Like, you're going to be a senator, you're going to look
Yeah.
down on, you're going to be in charge one day
Mhm.
of all this, and so you'll boss him around and stuff. And then she runs off into the woods, and then the guy that the guy that captures Leia, I think he's the bassist of Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's the guy from Red Hot Chili Peppers. And like I was like, oh man.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
the
they're
people
big.
they're bringing in here to these shows,
I was like, cool, they got Red Hot Chili
it's like
Peppers.
you kind of wonder why, but at the same time, it's like it's so cool because it's letting artists of one medium go to another one, and then it's also like bringing these interesting people
I love
into the
it.
world of Star Wars, which like I think that has to be my favorite thing about the world of Star Wars is how just like you see all of the like the people and the creatures or whatever. It's like there's so much, I guess, like universe diversity or
Mhm.
what, like it seems like no two people are alike there, and so just having all of these different kinds of people from like our world or like the world of, I guess, people who wouldn't typically be in there, and adding their flavor to the world of Star Wars, I think it's so cool to see.
I love it. And then we continue with what was it? So Leia gets captured, and then Bail Organa, he contacts Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan's like, I can't do this anymore. Like, why you should ask somebody else. Like, I have to I have to take care of Luke. And then they said like, she's just as important. And that's very true. She is just as important as Luke. And
Yeah.
so uh Obi-Wan goes back into town, This is the Owen scene.
Oh,
And
I really like seeing that scene
or
with Owen.
he leaves a present for Luke, and
Hmm.
he goes into town the next day and stuff, um, and then Owen comes and throws it back at Obi-Wan. He's just pretty much like, uh, you have to stay away from us,
Yeah.
and like, we talked about this, Owen. He must be trained.
Hmm.
He was just like, just like you trained his father, and then it was like,
Yeah.
oh,
It's like,
it's
because
the
you know that
meme.
like that kind of insult, it wasn't like it can just seem on like the surface as an insult, but you know that hit Obi-Wan
Oh
hard.
yeah.
I'm gonna go grab a charger real
Oh
quick.
yeah, no
I will
problem.
be back.
Yes, Hannah, I did hear about the racist stuff happening to Reva's actress. We were actually discussing it a little bit ago about how um, the like there was the slander of that, and and Ian McGregor had to make the statement, and pretty much said like racism isn't tolerated. You're no Star Wars fan if you're. I think Reva's like, I'm invested in it. Like when I watched it for the first time, I came into it with an open mind, and I absolutely loved it, and I liked Reva's character, and like I'm interested to see where her story goes and all that stuff. Uh, and yeah, and like even with Leia's actress, like at first there was a little bit of like, I don't know, is she going to be good or not? And it was like, no, no, just let the story tell. Like I don't want the same thing to happen to what happened to like Anakin's kid actor in the Phantom Menace, and what happened to him. Like that's just, nobody deserves hate. Nobody deserves uh, racial things being said about him. Like that's like, yeah, like that, like people are human, and then like uh they're they're going off a script. They're not, and they're going by direction, so it's not the actress at all. And like people have to realize that they're making a story. It doesn't matter about the skin color, it's the story itself, and invest yourself in that story. That's what I have to say. um but yeah, like just unnecessary. And then, hi Max. So yeah, we're just talking about the racist comments and stuff that happened with that. So
I forget who I was watching. I think it might have been in the Real Rejects video, but they're saying how it's like a consistent, like the one negative thing about the Star Wars fan base is that it seems to be a consistent thing that happens.
yeah, I was mentioning like Anakin's actor from the Phantom Menace. He got, I forgot his name, but he was other other movies as a kid. I thought he did a good job.
Yeah.
But it was like back in the day, he got a lot of hate and he got really bullied for it, and it was like, I don't want that to happen. Like he was just a
Yeah.
kid, like,
Mhm.
and like he didn't deserve any of that, and it was like,
I'll
but it was just hateful things, and it was
yeah.
like, you don't want that to happen again.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah,
I will always think of him as Jamie from
yeah,
Jingle All the
Jingle All the
Way.
Way. Yes, yeah.
I just every time, so like I rewatched the movies. Was that last year or 2 years ago? Like all at once, because I
Mhm,
never watched them as like a consistent piece. I'd always watch them in segments.
mhm.
And every time he came on screen, I just had Arnold's voice in my head going,
No,
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
But yeah, going back to what you were talking about, like that, I
Mhm.
think, it's the kind of thing where like a fan is overly passionate.
Yeah.
And it's like they get to the point where they're so passionate about
Who the
the world
actor?
that they think they understand so well
Yeah.
that if anything is like out of place, so to speak, it's they feel the need to do that.
They're
But
just like,
yeah.
oh, this isn't right. Oh, why is he like this? Oh, blah 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 blah. And it's like,
Mhm.
oh, he's a horrible actor. It's like, no,
Yeah.
it's not. Like it's the story they're trying to tell. Like, take it in with open mind. Don't just slander it right as soon as you see that first episode or the second episode. Like, let the
Mhm.
story build. Like
Yeah.
I'll say that about any, like, let like go in with, like, even with the Halo TV series, like go into it with an open mind. I'm very much like it has to be this way and that way with the Halo stuff, but it's like, but like I take it in with an open mind. I'm like, all
You're
right,
level-headed about
this
it.
isn't made for me. This is made for newer people coming into the series, and like, don't go into everything just criticizing it.
Yeah,
just take it in as open mind. But yes, but from that, yes. So we can get back into the story. So Leia gets captured, and then the thing with Owen happens, and like the Inquisitors come, and Owen. I was surprised. Like Reva goes up to Owen. I was like, oh man, he can't die yet.
She's like, he doesn't like, die. How are they gonna play this?
How are they gonna play this?
Yeah, it was that scene. I think it really shows like, because we don't see like a whole lot of Owen throughout Star Wars, and so I think it was good character growth to know that like he wants to protect Luke, but he also understands like at his core what Obi-Wan is doing, and so I think like him not wanting like the gift for Luke is his way of protecting Luke, but then he also wants to protect
I think he's going to get it though, because that ship is in episode 4.
Oh yeah, so, I guarantee in the last episode, possibly the last shot or an end credit scene,
I really hope
that will be what happens.
Yeah. And
I guarantee it. If I know Disney.
I love that story. I'm just like, yeah. And so Leia gets captured, and that all happens, and then Bail Organa actually goes to Tatooine, goes into Obi-Wan's cave. He's just standing there like, I came. And he's like, oh, you're here.
Yeah. Everybody thought that was oh god, why am I forgetting the name? Liam Neeson.
Oh, Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon, yeah. And so many people thought that was Qui-Gon.
I think we'll get that. But yeah. So and Obi-Wan is like, yeah, okay, and Organa's like, she's just as important. So I was like, he's right. So Obi-Wan's like, all right, and then he like digs out the lightsabers in the desert. You see Anakin's there and his. I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
That was really cool. Yeah.
And then he goes off, and then episode 2 starts, and there he's on that planet, and we see. So that girl that hands him the spice or whatever, that's his daughter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
I think I did. Yeah. It's Ian McGregor's daughter.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm looking for my daughter.
Yeah. Because I think you had mentioned that to me, or I had seen it, or like something brief about it before I watched. I think it was you sent it to me or something. And before I watched the episode, so that it was like on my radar.
Oh, yeah.
And then I watched it, and I was like, "Oh, that's really funny." Yeah. Like the conversation they chose for them to have.
Yep.
Was really good.
And then you see the veteran clone sitting there. And you had who's Tamara Morrison playing the clone. That was his first time he wore a piece of clone trooper armor.
Oh.
Yeah. And he was like, yeah, it was just like spare change for a veteran or whatever it was, and everyone like hands out the money to him, and and so he finds
yes
so he finds I forget how does he find Leia? Oh, because of the dude. Yeah. So he the fake Jedi with the what was the magnets that he was using for the Force or whatever.
I love that character.
Who plays him? I know that actor.
Yeah,
I know the actor.
At first, I thought it was Oscar Isaac.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, no, it's not Oscar Isaac.
I know that. I just
he was Poe.
Yeah.
No, but it was. I hope that character comes back and it's like revealed that he actually was like giving them the contact of what's her face who picked them up and like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because that character, like, he's so funny.
He's funny.
Okay, I'll help you.
And then so Obi-Wan goes into this like chemical building or whatever it is, and looks like something out of Breaking Bad. He's wearing a suit and a mask, and he's like, he gets through, and he thinks he finds Leia, and then he gets jumped by uh, the Red Hot Chili Peppers guy,
Yeah.
and then
Actually, Peppers guy.
he knocks him out, and then he finds Leia, and then they're getting what is it? They're getting trying to get out of there, and they're being he's trying to hide and stuff, and
Mhm.
uh, he's like Leia, stick by me, and she's asking all these questions of like, are you actually a Jedi?
Yeah.
Can you swing me around? I was like, you can't do that, and like so she doesn't believe, or like she's hesitant, but she's going with him because like, oh, like your dad sent me, like I have to get you out of here.
Mhm.
And then what was it? They're like walking through the streets and stuff, and then they get what is it? Uh, the Inquisitors show up.
Yeah, and they sent out like the alert or
Oh
whatever.
yeah. Well, Riva decided, well, like because the main Inquisitor, he was like, you stay here, you're too impulsive, blah blah blah,
Mhm.
and then so she sends out a bounty around the whole system where look for Kenobi,
Yeah.
and because she feels that he's there, and so like they're running around, and they get to an alley, and Obi-Wan sees that bounty pop up on the person as watch or whatever it was, and then Leia's like, you lied to me, you're the reason why I'm here,
Mhm.
and then uh and then she runs off, and Obi-Wan's like, no, I gotta
Yeah.
chase the kid down, and then
Also, before I forget, the something I saw someone point out is I like how like Leia asking questions about like how do you know like if you have the force or like if you're feeling it or whatever she said. Like I like how they're doing that because it kind of lays groundwork for Rise of Skywalker and like the
yep,
force stuff that was shown more there than like anything that was really
yeah,
discussed beforehand.
yeah,
So I like how they're trying to incorporate that into the story more without
mhm,
like forcing it and making it seem like something that was like present in the beginning of her life and then the end of her life. Like it's she's questioning it, but never really like dives into it, I
dives
guess,
into
until
it, yeah,
later.
later. And so she runs off, and Obi-Wan has to chase her down, and but he's also being chased by um, but he's also being chased by people hunting him, so
Yeah.
he's trying to protect Leia, and also being shot at. It's cool because we get to see Obi-Wan use a blaster,
Yeah.
and like he's not using a lightsaber, he keeps it hidden because he uses his blaster unless he
Mhm.
has to use his lightsaber. And then they escape. What is it? So finally, yeah, so Leia gets to the point where she has to jump, and Obi-Wan's like, no, don't do that, don't. And so Leia like jumps, and then Obi-Wan, you can see. So the Force is like a muscle, is what I've
Mhm.
learned. The reason why Obi-Wan couldn't just use the Force, it's because it's an old muscle, and he hasn't used it in a long time. So it's like, unless you train that muscle every day and have that muscle memory, you're going to lose it. And since he hasn't used it, and he shut himself out from it, using it for him, he has to really reach out and do that. So when he did that, that was the first time he's used it now, however long, many years.
That's a good analogy
Mhm.
because you can. It's like when you see someone who's really pushing when they're working out, like they're lifting or something. They want to get to like the final thing. It's like you could see that kind of determination
Yep.
in him.
Yep. He's
You
like, I'm
could
gonna save
really
this.
see
Yep.
how hard he was trying. It's like
Yep.
I have to save her.
Yep. And then they get back to an alleyway, and then the guy shows up, and then the funny guy, and then and then
You're
he's like,
not alone.
yeah, he's like, all right, you're not alone. I'll help you. I'm gonna get you out of here. You have to go to this transit hub because
Hmm.
the Empire shut everything down, and so like, all right, and then uh, so and then like, what was it? Riva shows up, and because
Hmm.
the guy goes and distracts her, and
Yeah.
he's like, "I'm a Jedi," and then she like does because she can use the Force to like um, manipulate, conceive the vision in your mind of like what she wants you to think. Like if she's like, "You saw Kenobi, where is he heading?" He
Hmm.
will think like, "Okay." Then she gets that information from him
Yeah.
because of that, and I forget what that. It's like a mind,
A mind trick.
like a mind trick kind of thing. Yeah, and so she knows where they're heading, and so so Obi-Wan and Leia get to the spaceport, and like this was the cute thing. This was probably one of the and like Leia goes in there. She's like, I've been shot at. Like we got these inquisiting people chasing us.
Yeah.
Like if somebody's offering our help, we should take it. And then Obi-Wan stands there. He's like, you just remind me of an old friend. She was strong and stubborn like you. And she's like, I'm not stubborn. And she's like, yes, you are. And she was like, who is your friend? She died years ago. Like, yeah. They're talking about her mom.
Yeah.
And then so they get to the transport ship, and then Reva shows up, and then Obi-Wan's hiding, and then Reva's like, Anakin's been waiting a long time for you, and this is the first time Obi-Wan.
It's like he's alive.
He's alive. Like his eyes got really big. He's like, and then the Inquisitor shows up, and he's like you're too impulsive. Like I'll show you how to do it. And then Reva stabs him, and then that's why everybody thinks he died. But we'll see what happens. And I don't think he's personally dead, because if it's the same Inquisitor from the Rebels series, he dies in Rebels. That takes place later. So we'll see. And they escape, and then like in that Obi-Wan's just looking. He's like, Anakin. Yeah. And then we go to episode 3. Yeah,
and before we get into episode 3, I just want to point out for like anybody who's rewatching this and has the chat on, you're just gonna see Billy on the top like half of the stream,
and then you'll see
Hannah is gonna be on the bottom. It'll be so funny.
And then so we get to episode 3. It opens. I forgot how it opens. Does it open with Vader?
With him coming out of that bathtub.
Yeah, and like we see Vader's castle. This is on Mustafar. This is on the planet from episode 3.
So cool.
It's so cool. Yeah.
It's really cool.
So the cool thing about Vader, what they did for his voice, James Earl Jones, they actually used a computer like manipulation thing. They've used it in Book of Boba Fett for Luke, and they used it in The Mandalorian for Luke to make Luke's voice, even though like Mark Hamill's young, or like make Darth Vader's voice, even though James Earl Jones is getting up there in age. Like they're able to make that voice without having without having that person there, which is super cool, because you make it just sound like that actor, which is like, oh, awesome. Like you don't need them to record. So like I think Hayden did do the lines, but then they ran it through a computer software to make it sound like Vader. And that's really cool. And so like it opens up with Vader's castle, and you see him getting like his arms and his legs were gone, and you see just a
seeing him being pieced together.
Pieced together. You see the whole suit and everything, and you get to hear that voice for the first time, and where he was talking to Reva and saying like, I will kill you or whatever, or you'll die. And then after that, what was it? Then we go back to, I think, Kenobi and Leia going to that planet.
With the one mole
looking. I think that's Seth Rogen.
Is it?
I think it's Seth Rogen.
It sounds like
him. I think that was Seth Rogen. From what I heard. And then we get to that planet. They go to that meeting spot that nobody's there. And so Leia's like, well, we got to find some port or something. And then she flags down that transport. They're walking, and then you see that PTSD moment happen, and you see like Obi-Wan look at like somebody in a hood, and he turns around. I think that's Anakin. I think that's
it was supposed to be messing with his mind. And just before we continue, for anybody, I know my friend Jack's going to jump in here soon. We're talking spoilers for Kenobi, so if you haven't seen it and you don't want spoilers, thank you for tuning in, but I recommend watching the show before watching this.
Yes. And so you see the PTSD moment with Anakin there, and he's like freaking out. And then so they flag down that transport thing, and they get on with the mole. And the mole, he's with the Empire. He's like he's helping them out.
Yeah.
And so he's like, yeah, he's acting friendly and stuff. And then the stormtroopers get on, and then there's another cute moment that happens with Leia there.
It's funny when they're like, "Oh, we'll find him." We always do. We always right.
We always find.
I was like, that's the most stormtrooper. Like, oh, okay. Quick tangent.
Mm-hmm.
There's this video I saw called "If Stormtroopers Had," or it's like if the stormtrooper's vision was fixed, and it's like I'll send it to you.
Okay.
It basically shows like what would happen if they like saw like normal people. That's the nicest way to put it.
Interesting. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. So they're like, we'll find them. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And then like because Kenobi comes up with the story, and Leia, they're like, we're out here because it reminded. It was because of her mother.
It's like where I met her mother,
something like that. And you called her Leia. I get confused sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And like he turns her and he's like, she reminds me a lot of her, or whatever it was.
So
talking about
Padme. Real that was, yeah.
Another Padme thing, and then they get to that. What is that? The gate. They pull up to that gate with the stormtroopers.
Not laser. What's it called? Is it laser?
Like a laser gate.
Laser.
Yeah. and so the mole's like, I brought some people you should check out. And then they go over, and then Obi-Wan opens fire, and then you see the most gruesome stormtrooper death. The stormtrooper that's on the tower, he falls and he gets split in half, and he's like, whoa, I've never seen that before.
More of those, please.
More
of those and bonking their heads on the doors. That would be great.
And then so they escape, and then they get through the gate, and then the next transport of Imperial sliced in half. the next Imperial people come, and then that one high lieutenant comes and then shoots all the stormtroopers in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, oh, she's the contact.
Yeah.
And so then she brings them to the city and to the keepsake, and keeps them hidden. This is where all the awesome stuff starts to happen. And so Obi-Wan sees some name on the wall that's Quinlan Vos. He's from the Clone Wars animated series.
Okay.
He has like these dreads or whatever, so we might see Quinlan Vos make an appearance, which I'm excited for.
I think they'd have to either here or in another.
If you mention a name,
because it's like why else would you?
It's
unless
like
it's like a fun Easter
it's like
egg,
it's like the thing where it's like you have a gun up on the wall that you have to tie. If you say there's a gun up on the wall, you're going to have to mention that gun eventually. Quinlan Vos's name's on the wall. You're going to have to mention Quinlan Vos has to make an appearance eventually if you mention him. So it's like I forget what they call it. It's like a Chekhov's gun, where it's like you have all these things in writing and stuff where it's like if you make a detail or put a detail in, hence a name or whatever, they have to make, or like they should make an appearance at some point because you focus so heavily on that. And then I'm going on like a really nerd tangent. I'm sorry.
You're good. You're good. It's good for me to know these things.
So yes, and then they see the Inquisitor. This is Vader and the Inquisitor scene. So before with that, they their contact. I forget her name.
I forget it too.
Her name.
I know who you're talking about. Just say the contact.
she opens up this like back door where it's like these almost like a. Also, a little off topic.
Oh, I'm excited for that too.
Yes, me too.
She's like the Batman of Star Wars. That's
really
how I view her
yeah,
when she was doing the stuff in Mandalorian. When she's on the rooftops. I was like, oh, I like this.
I love it. And so yeah, then they show this whole like underground. It's like an underground railroad system where it's like they have this like these caves and stuff for transporting Jedi and all that, and transporting like Force sensitives or people of the Republic. Um, so what was it? So yes, and then the Empire shows up, and Darth Vader's with them, and so Obi-Wan goes to that door and he looks through, and you just see.
Okay, from this point on, that's some of my favorite Star Wars ever. I can't stop thinking about it.
You see Darth Vader.
Just you like how it had Obi-Wan looking out of the door and like you didn't see anything, and then it cut to the breathing.
Yep.
And then just like that entire, I'm gonna take over.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
That's oh man, that scene when he was like choking the people, snapping necks, dragging people. That is the first time, and I think this is like the first thing I said to you after watching the episode. Like that was a Vader that I'm like, okay, this guy. Like I've never felt him as like a real threat. Like he's the threat because he's the villain and like he does bad things. But like on an emotional level, watching it, I've never felt that from watching Vader before.
Yep.
That, however, that was like a game changer. Like if for any future Vader stuff, if it can be on this level, like he's just after what he's after, and nothing's gonna get in his way, and like he'll do like these people weren't interacting with him. I think that's what made it hit so hard. Is like they were hiding, they were doing what they should for the person that they're like who wants to, I guess, like rule the galaxy one day. And the fact that he was just like toying with them, killing them, doing whatever he can to get Obi-Wan to come out, like that is a villain. Yeah, and I just it's so cool. Yeah, that's all I can say. Like it's so
he makes
cool.
He makes it. I don't think you've seen Rogue One yet, but he makes an appearance in Rogue One.
I saw the
you see the
like
same
the scene from it. Yeah,
it's a very much. It shows that side of that of Vader. Reminded me a lot of that scine, and I was like, "Yep." I was just like, "This is the Vader. This is him." Just like he lifted that person out, and threw him against the wall, and then the kid comes out and he snaps his neck. I'm like, "Damn."
He's not holding back at all.
And I was like, "All right, I'm invested." And then so they try to escape, and then so Leia and the contact, they go through the cave system. Obi-Wan tries to lure the Empire away. And then so they meet up in like, it looks like a construction site or like something. And this is where Vader lights up his lightsaber. And then you have that stare down.
I jumped because when the lightsaber happened, is like when there's like a loud noise, I like jump in movies and stuff, and like I had the TV pretty loud because I was into it, and I was focused on Obi-Wan. I didn't even notice Vader's like arm on the side of the screen, and then it was just like silence and I was like, oh god.
I was like, and him the whole stare down thing, and like Obi-Wan, like so. When it came to, well, I heard an interview with Ian McGregor. He was talking to Hayden Christensen about like when Hayden was in the suit, and like Ian was when he's like, that suit's terrifying to look at because you're like 7 feet tall, you're like looking up at him. He's like, it was terrifying seeing that suit in real life,
and especially this version of Vader. It's like no wonder.
And he was like, yeah, it didn't. Ian said he didn't feel real until he actually was in that scene with him. He's like, okay, this feels like an actual threat. And so like, so let's see. That was crazy.
Yeah.
And so
when he lit whatever that was, he spilled on the ground. I was like, oh, this is happening.
So Obi-Wan tries to run away from Vader, and like Vader always knows where he's going to be, and he knows his every move, and Darth Vader has him beat. Darth Vader has him beat in this fight, and because he's like he's rusty Obi-Wan, so you see the age on him. You see like the because Obi-Wan shut himself away from the Force. He wasn't he wasn't involved in any sort of like physical stuff anymore. So and being ready for this fight, he just wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, and like the line, like even Vader points that out, like the years have made you weak.
The years that made you weak, and then also like when Obi-Wan said, "What have you become?" and then Vader's like, "I am what you made me."
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and like, and like that was such a whoever thought of that line for him was just like that was that amazing timing and an amazing like just set for that. It is just like, yes, that is very true. I am you. Obi-Wan trained me, and Obi-Wan's the one that made me. So yes, and so so they're at the point of like, yes, Vader puts like the gasoline down and lights it, and like is holding Obi-Wan up, which is like an amazing visual, by the way. And he's like, "You will suffer," or Obi-Wan, and then he like drags them through the fire, and then the contact and Leia, they split up because Leia wants that contact to go help Obi-Wan, and she's like, I'll meet you guys on Alderaan," and so they split up, and then the contact shows up there on that hill and shoots and like is the distraction, and uh, and so everything gets so everything stops. I think Vader puts out the fire. I think that's what he did. Yeah. And then once I forget what happens. Does the fire starts back up because of the contact or something?
Yeah, she shoots the power thing.
Yeah, so the fire comes back, and it
so
pushes,
it separates,
and it's like
the droid comes out.
I hear some people say like, "Oh, Vader could have just like easily like walked over that or
I don't think
put
he
it
wanted
out."
to.
But I was like,
no, wanted to hurt him, and then not.
He didn't want to kill him.
Yeah, like he wants like you said, like your suffering's just begun.
Yeah.
It's like he wanted to cause pain, and then he's going to wait, and then he's going to cause pain again. Like I think we're going to see, and then because there's 6 episodes total, right?
Yes.
I think in the final 3 episodes, or I guess the other half of the series or the season, we're gonna see him do things to like emotionally hurt Obi-Wan. We're gonna see him physically hurt him again, and then I think the 6th episode, depending on whether they go for a second season or not, that's gonna be when Obi-Wan is like the master again, and then we'll see. I mean, I guess it depends on where they go with the series if they do a season 2.
She said it's like a cat and mouse game. I absolutely agree with that. It's like it's going like
very much so.
I think because they've been kind of teasing like Obi-Wan trying to reach out to Qui-Gon. So like if Qui-Gon doesn't show up, I think Obi-Wan might go to Yoda or something to where he can get like, okay, so Vader bested me this time, but I have to make sure like Vader cannot best me again. And so I think the next fight they have will be like a stronger Obi-Wan, or like him, like he's getting his strength back and he's getting his fight back, and like he's going to best Vader somehow in the next fight they have.
I think it's going to be a lot like we're going to see him evolve to be. I can never. What's the first Star Wars movie that came out? What's the title? A New Hope.
New Hope.
I always get those titles mixed up. I think we're going to see from the end of this series, or like near the end, maybe episode 5, we're going to start to see the Obi-Wan that like he knows he's kind of in control. Like he owns the situations. So I think that's how the character development is going to work. Like he's broken now, he's hurt a lot, like physically, emotionally, he's drained. And I think we're going to see him build up to start to realize that like, this is his path. He can't ignore it. And we're just going to see him progress to, the old Obi-Wan that we see in A New Hope.
Yeah. So like, he's injured. He gets saved. And so leaves off with Obi-Wan injured, and then Reva captures Leia. So here's the thing. So Leia's been trying to.
He does need guidance, definitely.
So Leia's now as a young kid has been trying to escape the Empire. So she's been trying to escape the Empire her whole life. And so this is so A New Hope wasn't the first, and it probably won't be the last. So
I think Leia's going to hold her own, though.
Yeah.
I really do think it's going to be a situation, and I'm sure some people will be upset by this, but where Leia, what's her name? It starts with an R.
Reva.
I think Leia's going to take on Reva, and she's going to win, and I think a lot of people are going to be upset by it.
It's like, how did she? It was like the whole chasing scene in the woods, like where they're chasing down Leia to capture her, and it's just like everyone's just trying to catch up to this little kid, but it's story just like.
Well, I think part of it too is it's like, you have to remember that like a little kid can go in these areas where an adult can't. So it's like they have to figure out how to do that.
I bet there was some thinking. I was like, okay, how can she try to escape with these adults chasing her? It's like, come on, they thought of that. So it's like you saw Leia like get through those. I think, if Leia escapes, she's very smart, so she either escapes or somebody will help her in some way.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
She'll find a crawl space. She's small enough.
So I'm excited for these this last half of Obi-Wan episodes coming, and like can't wait to see like where this series goes, if there will be a season 2. The rumor is there will be, but nothing's been confirmed yet.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, because it's like really good.
And then we have a bunch of other Star Wars content. We have Ahsoka, we have Mandalorian season 3, we have Bad Batch season 2, we have the Andor series coming out. There's a bunch of new Star Wars stuff in the works, and I'm just like, this is going to be or Reva holds her captive, and we get a fight with Obi-Wan and Reva. Oh,
I think they're going to fight for sure.
I think Reva's going to die. Somehow.
I think Vader is probably going to be the one to do it. And I think it's probably going to be a situation where, okay, here's my prediction. Leia is in danger from Reva. Obi-Wan is going to distract her by basically giving himself up. And like he's in the position where he will die, and she is going to do the blow. She's going to, do whatever it is. Like, because he wants Leia to get away, he's going to sacrifice himself. And then Vader is going to be there. He is going to not want Reva to do that because he wants to. And he is going to kill her. That's my prediction.
That's a good one.
That's my prediction. Based on nothing.
I think so. Remember that Order 66 scene, and that girl that kind of looked like Reva was there?
Yeah.
I think Reva might have a change of heart.
Okay.
And
we got opposite ends.
Yeah. I think Reva might have a change of heart and try to attack Vader, and Vader kills her. But we'll see. We'll see.
Lots of possibilities.
So
with a character like that.
Yeah, it's because they wouldn't. Maybe they would, because it's Jon Favreau, and Jon Favreau he loves Order 66 scenes. He either put that Order 66 scene in there just because he wanted to, or he put it in there for a reason. And if Reva was the one in that group of kids, like I think that's, maybe she might have a change of heart. Overpower Vader. That's or maybe she's like, Vader's weak. Like maybe I can overthrow him.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, lots of kind of a question mark character at this point.
I know I took over a lot of that conversation.
I appreciate that because I'll give my input, but when it comes to Star Wars, you're the man to
thanks.
guide it forward because you understand so much.
I've watched too many things. You see, you watch a lot of Marvel. I watch a lot of Star Wars.
We all have our addictions.
We all have our addictions. So.
Speaking of addictions, and when we have that's similar, should we jump into some music?
Yeah. So how much time? Like, does
how long have we're going for an hour and 24 minutes.
We can still go. Did you say somebody was coming down?
I think Ben might be home.
Oh, okay. Does he need this space?
I don't think he needs his room.
Oh, his room. I thought he needed to know who drummed, and I didn't know if any music stuff was
No, I
happening
think
this week.
we're good.
Okay, cool. So yeah, we can jump into some music. So what would I guess for music, I got any recommendations or things you would like to talk about?
I think I just have one this week. Let me check.
That's true,
again
Hannah.
to
We all
see.
love our Star Wars. No.
I'm gonna go to Spotify. What have I been listening to? Well, okay.
Yeah.
So, in terms of new music or relatively new music, I think it's like a week old now. We have STFU, shut the fill in the blank up because it's YouTube.
Oh yeah.
I can't say
Get
that, or channel.
demonetized.
Yeah. So that song by the pop punk band Neck Deep is really good. It's like a politically commentary kind of like a political commentary kind of song.
Okay.
And it is them going back to their roots. Their recent album, I would say I like about 2/3 of the songs on there, and then there's like a lot of kind of like, it sounds like poppy for the sake of being poppy, not what they wanted to write. And I'm really glad they're jumping back into their like up tempo, fast pop punk stuff, because I do think it's what they do best, and it sounds the most like them putting their emotions on the table, because they are a very kind of like aggressive in a lighthearted way sounding band. So that would probably be my recommendation for new music. Other than that, and you're gonna know this one because I've been obsessing over it for the past 2 months for no good reason at all. Sweeney Todd. I don't know why. The music from that musical can't get it. Like, it's stuck in my head permanently, I think. Like, I'll be at work wrapping bread, and it'll just be like, they all deserve to die. And I'm like, there's no reason this should be stuck in my head right now. But so if you haven't listened to that soundtrack or seen the musical, watch it. That's where I'm going to end it for my
okay. And Hannah said thoughts on MGK. I'm going to get to that.
Okay.
So my first song actually has MGK in it. I have there's a song by Black Bear that came out recently called GFY. So go blank yourself.
Because it's YouTube.
Yeah, because it's YouTube. And he made it with Machine Gun Kelly. And it's a great song. And it's very like upbeat, and it's like it's like Black Bear be having a rap background. I love Black Bear. Black Bear is one of my current artists and newer artists that I've listened to for a long time. And I just like all his like newer stuff that he's doing and going kind of into that like rock area and adding real like drums and guitars and stuff. And I'm like, I am here for this.
And he's doing it well. Like, it sounds like he genuinely wants to make it too, which is some of the criticism I've had with artists recently. They're jumping on the bandwagon of like, oh, MGK had 2 #1 albums, I'm going to start doing this sound. Yeah, it works if it's something that you really want to do. And I feel like Black Bear definitely.
Black Bear, he's had he's been with artists, like he's collabed with artists that like he's collabed with Mike Shinoda before, and he's collabed with people in like with Black Bear, I feel like he does things genuinely instead of like just following trends. Because he's invested in it, and like and he's friends with like All Time Low and those guys. So with Monsters,
he's in their song.
And like so like with him, I think like it's something he's always wanted to do, and now he has the opportunity to do it. Being buddies with MGK, but also like with Travis Barker, giving him a shot. I think this is more of like definitely a passion project for him, and something he's been wanting to do. So I'm excited for his new album coming out. I'm excited for like what we're gonna hear from it. And like GFY is like the first song of many songs, and I've heard snippets of some of his new stuff, and it's gonna be great.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. And then the other song that I've been listening to is called "Ruin My Life" by Census. And this one, it has, yeah, we listened to it earlier, and I found this like last night, and it's really, really cool. And it mentions like, just like a relationship and like pretty much, uh, being, what is it? Like, you ruined my life and stuff, and like, go ghost like Danny Phantom.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of the lines. It mentions Danny Phantom, so I like it. And it's like a metal song, and like, it's cool. Or like a rock song. I don't know if it's metal.
I would say it's like pop punk metal influence.
Yeah. And so you want my thoughts on MGK, huh? MGK is a mixed bag. Hannah, like, I liked his like lace up, like, original MGK, like when he did like Invincible, and what was he saying?
Oh, yeah.
Trying to agree against.
Maybe I'll jump in. I'll do it until I get stressed out.
Yeah, there you go.
Welcome back.
So like with Lace Up with that album, like when MGK like first started coming out, uh, he was okay. Like, he was just an up and coming artist, and like I never had an issue with him. And some of his, don't. And some,
I'll take the advice. I'll take it. I won't.
Like, some of his music back then, like, there were some really good ones.
I probably interacted with him in the past.
And with MGK, like, seeing his, like, he became somebody that, like, he had some good songs, but then the first controversy he had was with Eminem. I'm a big Eminem narc.
Yeah.
Like, I love Eminem. I've listened to everything Eminem, Kill Shot, and then what was the other one that MGK made? And then
Kill Shot was so good.
Yeah, and I was just like, MGK, you're not my friend. I don't like.
I think that's a good stance to have. I think Tickets to My Downfall was a pretty good album for the most part. Like, it wasn't anything spectacular, but I think it was a solid, like, 2020 or 2021, whenever it came out.
2021.
Like, it was a solid 2021 pop punk album. Mainstream Sellout, I think it was very much like, there were some good songs, but it was making another album because another one was successful. I don't think there was a lot there that like fueled it.
It didn't feel passion. Like, it didn't feel like his passion was in it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, so yeah, like, he switched up his rap career going into pop punk because I don't know if it's because of Eminem, but that's the big thing everybody says.
I think part of it is like he had because Hotel Diablo was after the Eminem stuff, right?
Okay, yeah.
So I think that was kind of like his transition, and I think what really made him go into rock was I Think I'm Okay Doing So Well, because that one got like some radio airplay, and it's still like, I think once the album stuff settles down, it'll still be one of MGK's most popular songs and like his top 5 of Spotify and all that. So I think that probably really pushed him into it too.
Yeah. Like, I like when he did mainstream Sellout and stuff. I like there were some good songs in there, but I felt like his heart was actually in it. But when he did what was the new one?
Or Mainstream Sellout was the new one.
Tickets to My Downfall was the one with the most passion in. But Mainstream Sellout was just like, I agree, just made it because his first one was successful.
Yeah.
Felt very just minimal. And like, and the thing with MGK is like, he seems like he's just trying to get as much limelight as he can personally, and is very like, he's acting very fake. Like, it doesn't seem like he's being genuine with what he's doing. He just seems like he's being very fake, and because he has a hot girlfriend of him, with Megan Fox, like, he's using I think he's using just his status to be like, to to hold his own, and I just don't like it.
Yeah, I think you're right when you say that. And like, it's kind of interesting because like I know he is into rock music and like he was before he made it. So like there's part of that that I think is genuine, but it's like he's trying to morph what is popular and almost what's expected of him with what is genuine. And there's that song Let You Go from, I think the album's called Bloom or In Bloom or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And that one, like, I think that's like a kind of genuine song, and like you can hear that he's making what he wants to make. But I think a lot of mainstream sellout was kind of copying and pasting Tickets to My Downfall.
Yeah.
And like Tickets to My Downfall is a project that I like for what it was, no matter how you stand on it, whether you like it or you hate it, it was what it was. It was coherent and it was a 2021 pop punk album. Whereas I think mainstream sellout was trying to follow that up without really like making it its own thing. Like it almost felt like a B-sides album from Tickets to My Downfall. That's right. Like the songs that didn't make that album.
That's kind of what I was going to say.
That's how it feels to me. So
Home, Home, with MGK. That's a good song. Like there
Is
are
that Papa Roach?
That's Home. It's like he made the song called Home with BB Rexa.
Okay.
Yeah, and oh no, I forget the other name.
He has one with Papa Roach. I can't remember.
Yeah, he does, but I forget who he did. Papa Roach and not Papa Roach. BB Rexa and some other guy. I forget who it was, but Ex Ambassadors. Yeah.
Okay.
And MGK is in it, and that's a good song. Like there are some songs I do like, but personally, I do not like him as a like personally.
He seems very like self-absorbed at times. Like there's times
has a big
where
ego.
Yeah, like it's almost kind of like the stereotype of a rapper's personality. Like there's times where you can see he's talking about his music and like with Lonely from Tickets to My Downfall, the song about his dad and his aunt and them passing away. Like you can see that like when he talks about that like that's a real song. Like those lyrics were real. And then you see like when he posts about the song with Lil Wayne when that dropped. It's like the entire thing is just kind of a meme, and it's like, hey, we did this song, go stream it to get streams. And it's like,
no,
if people like it, they'll stream it.
Yeah.
And people like genuine stuff, which is why that song didn't do as well as I think they thought it would.
It's also the fact that he has the same birthday as me, and I don't like that. And
I'm sure there's someone like a
Amber Heard has the same birthday as me.
There has to be someone good.
I'm like, no, why do I have the same birthday as these two people? I think so. Anyway, let me take a look.
Quite the. I wonder who has the same birthday as me. We're gonna celebrities with our birthdays. Here we go.
Okay.
We might have to tack this onto the title depending on how interesting.
Okay. Amber Heard birthday, April 22nd, 1886.
Terrible year, I guess. Let's see who has the same birthday as me that I've heard of.
Hannah has the same birthday as Paul Walker.
Oh, you guys got big names. All of yours might not be Pharaoh. I don't think I recognize the Rock.
The Rock. Nice.
May 2nd.
Oh, so you're Taurus.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, famous birthdays. That's the site we got to go to. Oh, thank God there's pictures.
No. So, yes.
If only I recognize these people.
Well, the only reason why I knew Amber Heard's birthday was because I saw something on TikTok and I was like, no. Why?
It's okay. I won't hold you to it.
Okay. So, yeah. So with that, that's our show today. We got an hour and 40 minutes. So this is our like longest episode. She's Virgo.
Nice.
So yeah, this was fun. I can't wait to do more. I can't
Same.
wait. I like interacting. I like this top chat, live chat,
Yes.
and then I just like this dynamic of like we're gonna have to like so white right there.
Yeah, I was trying to think because like the table that is in the podcast room is outside from beer pong.
Oh yeah,
So we could either use that area, and I was thinking about
get a banner. No,
yeah.
Well, whose banner is that?
That's Good Troubles. So like I think it's technically Ben or Tyler's.
Okay.
But yeah, I was thinking like a banner or like posters of like we could get Nerd Cave posters and then like maybe posters of things that we like you could get Halo and Star Wars. I could get Agents of Shield and whatever. I don't know. But yeah, I think coming up with a setup or like we could even do something in my room too if I pull my desk out. We could yeah. For now, the backdrop is
white.
These lovely sheets.
He's just, Doctor Who. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Right
so
down.
You got some good ones. Yeah, you need to find other people.
I have to find other people for my birthday.
Got Amber Heard and MGK.
So John Cena's the day after me.
Just say he's the same day. That's close enough.
My grandma's actually my grandma shares a birthday with him. They're both born the 23rd. It was funny because when I was born, my grandma was like, "That was a cool birthday present." Yeah. Actor playing the doctor.
I pieced that together.
So that's our show. I think we'll have it's either going to be the same setup, or if we have an idea for next week's episode, we'll have a different setup of like some sort of we'll be either in the podcast room because we're like in this band room kind of right now.
Yeah.
So our set will change up every now and then, and yeah,
hopefully something a little more concrete, maybe. The lighting, we got this nice kind of studio light,
yeah,
but there's no like cover or whatever those things are on it, where like you can point it at yourself.
Yeah, so
we
now
don't
it's just
want to go blind today, so it's
this is the first day. This is the first episode. So obviously later, we'll get more production and more like actual good setup. But I think this is good for now. And
yeah, I mean, aside like setting it up to if I only remember the Wi-Fi password.
No, yeah. It's all good.
But we got it going. So
yeah,
this has been really fun.
So hopefully the stream's been good for you guys. Hopefully it's not lagging. Hopefully did we come in too quiet or did that's a question.
That's a great question.
Did we lag at all? Yeah. I guess lagging and if the mic's working good. And if those things are good, then we'll have the same setup as the next time. So if we have to turn the mic up or down, if we have to adjust certain things, we'll do that. So,
yes.
Yeah. Otherwise, find us on obviously YouTube. We have a Facebook. We have a Twitter. We have Hannah says they're good for her, so that's
Sweet.
Good.
Good to know. Thank you.
So Facebook, Twitter. We have an Instagram. We don't really post. These are just all of our social medias when we do post certain things. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We have a Discord, but we barely use it. Yeah. So
I think that's one of my things I want to do this week is really jump into that. Getting back into all this like entertainment based stuff. Like I was telling you earlier, like getting entertainment outlet back. Like just getting into it again and working on stuff that is fun. And like I say this at the end of every episode, but like it's so much fun doing this with you.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so glad like
it's just so fun.
We can do this now together and like I'm just excited for what the future holds and what other projects we'll do and we'll just have fun with it. I think like creatively pushing ourselves this summer, I think that's just really good for us mentally and good for just like having a platform to do it on. And I'm glad this thing's turning out great. So I'm glad I'm having a great time. So we appreciate everybody tuning in.
Yes, thank you.
Just having a good time with us, and we'll see you next week for our next episode. And so everyone have a good night. Do you want to end it?
Have a good night. I mean, I don't know how I could top that.
No.
Have a good night. Thank you for showing up and commenting so much. I didn't like. I expected people that we, like if people we knew came in, that we would get some comments. And I was like, oh, that'd be cool to like see the first comments. I didn't
That was a good
expect to see like the
conversation.
first 1,000 comments.
That was a
like
good
dang,
one.
you guys killed it with the commenting. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
And I'm Max.
I'm Miles, and this has been the Nerd Cave podcast. We'll see you next week, guys.
Thanks for tuning in.
Have a good one.